Hey there, everyone. That sexy nerd is back again, and we're doing something new for this channel. I just found these videos called Overanalyzing Avatar, and the duck. I forgot his name. It's like the duck goes moo. I don't know what the hell he says on his thing, but he watches Dragon Ball Z abridged. He's watching it with his friend Kirby right now, and I don't know how this guy did it. He got me into Dragon Ball Z again, to waiting for it for week to week. So I'm like, but he also is doing this thing called analyzing Avatar, and honestly, Avatar: The Last Airbender. You see my shirt? Yeah. It is basically, I believe, honestly and for truly, to everything I love, I think it is the greatest show mankind has ever created. It is. I honestly think that it's better than Breaking Bad, than than Dexter. I mean, okay, fine. I might be over exaggerating a little bit, but it is probably the best kids show. At least it's at least the best kids show I've ever seen, and family show. You can't even call it a kids show because that show gets dark. So I have always loved the show, and I did make a promise to you, and I did tell you guys that eventually I will get my 7-year-old nephew to watch the show, and be his reaction. And also probably get my mother in here as well, because honestly, even she could probably. She's actually, we. I really think that my whole family would, but my whole family doesn't want to join, but I do believe that both my mother and my nephew would be blown away by the show. So I'm going to introduce it to them, and they're going to come onto the show and react to it with us. But that's only if you guys give me more subscribers, give me more likes, and then I'll be able to bring you guys that. I'll be able to set that thing up. So for now, we're going to be doing this over analyzing Avatar, and I can't wait to hear what this guy says, because I'm kind of curious as to see what he notices, because it's going to be like Cinema Sins, but in a positive light, because I'm sure this guy's a fan. But anyway, let's not discuss it any further. I've never seen any of these, so let's go in this finally with brand new eyes. And if you wanna see more sexy and nerdy content, please smash that like button, and also subscribe if you think I deserve it. All right, let's do this thing, y'all.
Avatar: The Last Airbender is my favorite show.
Yep.
I've watched it more times than I can count, and that is not an exaggeration.
I know
And
exactly how you feel.
Really high. Its characters, its world, its story. Every time I watch it, I find something new to appreciate.
Yes.
So I thought, if I'm going to watch it, I'm going to comment on literally everything I want to. And that means everything. Themes, shot compositions, character beats, animation flaws. Everything I love and all the stuff I don't like. I'm talking about everything. This isn't a video essay. This isn't a critique. I don't really know what to call this. It's going to be me talking about a show that I really like. So here it is. Episode 1 of whatever I end up calling this.
This is what he should have called it. This is why. Reasons on why Avatar is so amazing.
Water.
This episode is good. The episode 1 intro does a great job of setting the stage on both a large and small scale.
Look at Azula.
These first 2 episodes are great at weaving facts and details about the world into the script, so it's not too blatant that you're being told stuff. The intro to the first episode, however, takes precise advantage of the fact that it is explaining things to you. The world used to be peaceful. Fire Nation wasn't really about that. The Avatar's the chosen one. He's going to stop it if he was still around. That pretty much sums up the entire grandiose plot that we have to worry about.
It's true.
The next lines actually set up our
Simple.
first episode. Water Triben are gone. Sokka and Katara are left to look after the village, despite being only children. Great. These episodes are only 22 minutes long, so fitting in all of this information, A, about the overarching story with the Fire Nation and the Avatar, and B, our smaller story with Katara and Sokka, it's a really good way to start.
Yes, it
Sokka's
really
first
is.
2 lines are great. Within 2 lines, there's already a ton of characterization.
It's not getting.
You know what? You know what's really funny is that, like, usually this show is so amazing, yet it can also be called formulaic, because it has an A and a B story. Kind of like honestly, so many shows have like an A and a B story. It's not even funny. Rick and Morty, Family Guy, a lot of shows like that I have covered, and it's really a great way to tell a story, especially in an animation.
Away from me this time.
Tells you he's determined, if maybe a little inexperienced.
Watch and learn, Katara. This is how you catch a
And
fish.
also, he's a show off.
This line gets across the point that he's cocky, and that
Yeah.
he doesn't really expect much out of his sister. Katara's first few moments are similarly good. You can tell by her expression that she's not very sure of herself using her waterbending, and by the tone in her voice that she's surprised that she successfully caught a fish.
Look, Sokka! I caught one!
So now you have the idea that she's a novice, but she has potential.
It's not magic, it's water bending. And it's
Yeah, an ancient art unique to our culture, blah, blah, blah.
Sokka's dismissive attitude towards the magical water bending, and how he just blah blah blahs it away, continues to set up Sokka's narrow-minded attitude in the first few episodes. Simultaneously, the viewer's learning that this power is unique to a culture, and, to people that aren't Sokka, is considered an art. Like, who wrote this? This is genius. It's been a few sentences, and you already have all this information.
Yeah.
In this shot, and a few of the following
Flipped.
shots, you can actually see the iceberg that Katara eventually bends to reveal Aang. It's just chilling in the background. This is
Really?
the first of a ton of little continuity things that Avatar does in the background that you don't really notice, but if you take the time to look at it, you'll find them.
Wow.
And I'm going to point out every single fucking one of them. Okay, this could have, like, genuinely crushed them to death. They gloss over it pretty quickly, but that was extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
Does this actually set up stakes in the back of a viewer's mind? Like they can actually die, despite it being a cartoon? I'm probably looking too hard into this.
No.
Leave it to a girl.
I think you're actually right. What?
you are the most sexist, immature, nut-brained... I'm embarrassed to be related to you!
This is more good character identification. You now learn that Sokka isn't just cocky in his own abilities, but he holds a prejudice against girls and assumes they can't do what a man can do. And you learn that Katara, while not being entirely sure of her own abilities, isn't one to just lie down and be talked down to. These are good, strong character traits that we already know, and it's only been a few minutes.
I'm done helping you! From now on, you're on your own!
I wonder if this shot is a parallel to another shot we see later in the episode. I'll bring it up when we get to it. Would a couple of good, hearty
episode.
swings of Sokka's club really break open the century-old ice bubble? Probably
I don't think
not.
so.
Aang in the Avatar state probably broke it open from the inside, right? I never know what this
Yeah.
shot is. What is this shot? Is it the underside of the iceberg? That's the only thing I can think of. Why does it look so weird? What is this? Zuko's tone and first words are similarly great in characterization.
Finally.
He says, looking determined. Whatever he's been doing it for a long time, and he does not take it lightly.
My search. It's about to come to an end.
Alright, we all know that everyone loves Iroh. He's everyone's favorite character. And I'm getting tired of saying, oh wow, look at these first few lines for this character. It characterizes them really well. Iroh's no exception. He likes tea, wants Zuko to relax, for the love of God. And if you don't think that characterizes Iroh perfectly, I don't know what to tell you. It's like when they sat down to write this episode, they were like, what are our characters about? Sokka. Okay, he's a dick to women, and he likes eating. Okay, write it. Katara. She's a waterbender, and, she doesn't like putting up with Sokka's shit. Good. Print. Keep going. Zuko. He's mad. Good. Next. Iroh. He likes tea, and he wants Zuko to fucking relax. By God, ladies and gentlemen, we've got an episode.
Yeah.
Aang,
What about
finally,
Aang?
after being in the Avatar state here, actually sets up a subtle little character growth thing for him that evolves across the entire series. Just keep in mind that Aang completely collapses here. Alright, here's one of the weird ones, where I don't know if this is something I noticed, or if, like, everyone else noticed it, and it's not a big deal, so no one talked about it. But this head poking is like a recurring joke. Like, they do it like a bunch of times in the first few episodes.
Really?
Oh shit, we forgot to write Aang's first lines. Oh, yeah, right. He likes sledding?
Will you go penguin sledding with me?
On a more serious note, this actually does characterize Aang pretty well.
Yeah.
He's absent-minded, vibrant, just wants to have a good time. Also, Aang getting up with airbending here is a cool comparison to Katara earlier. His is thoughtless, effortless. He uses it for something as simple as standing up. Fun fact, the original script actually reads, "Enter the real hero." The humor in these first few episodes is pretty childish, and it's A low light, for sure.
Oh, I thought they were talking about Aang, Enter the Real Hero, but yeah, they were talking about Appa, and yeah. Also, look at that! Look at that freeze frame. That is terrifying.
I'm really glad the gross out humor didn't carry on past this. There are a few of these really weird shots in this first episode. It's like the editing has this energy to it. You know those old famously bad
God.
Zelda CDI games with
Yeah.
the cartoon cutscenes? This shot really reminds me of those games for some reason.
You just sneezed and flew 10 feet in the air.
Really? It fell higher than that.
He flew like way higher than 10 feet.
Oh, totally.
In this shot, Aang jumps up on Appa and sits on the back of his head. But then, in the next shot, he's sitting on his little hump thing on his back.
Oh, so cute.
Why are you smiling at me like that?
Oh, I was smiling?
Aang's lucky he's young and wildly charming. If I did this, I'd be in jail.
Exactly, right?
Wait, no! I don't mean with a 14-year-old! No! Hold on, wait! Zuko's standing out here, in the Arctic, on a steel ship,
With,
barefoot.
yeah.
Zuko doesn't have skin on his feet anymore.
Even if you're right, and
Oh.
Avatar is alive, you won't find him. Your father, grandfather, and great-grandfather all tried and failed.
Okay, so we know that Sozin spent the last years of his life looking for Aang, sure. But is this line to have me believe that both Azulon and Ozai had Zuko-esque journeys to find Aang? If yes, why are we getting Kyoshi novels? I want novels about Ozai, walking around, big dick swinging, looking for Aang. Aang sleeping shirtless in a tent with an open flap to the outdoors in the Arctic. Aang doesn't have skin on his body anymore. Why is
Wow.
Katara noticing the tattoos on his hands and feet? A zoom in gasp moment. This dude has a tattoo square on his forehead. Is it really that much of a stretch to assume he has other non-facial tattoos? Okay, I'm not gonna make a habit of bringing things up twice, but Aang is really comfortable in the Antarctic in just his normal
It's not the Antarctic, it's the
The
Arctic.
winter solstice is in just a few weeks. Then it's
Oh, no,
gonna
wait,
be
it is the
autumn
Antarctic,
right
my
now.
bad.
So autumn in the Antarctic. I don't know if you're getting away with that outfit, Chief.
No.
Aang, this is my grandmother.
Call me Gran.
I'm really glad they didn't keep the slide whistle sound effect around very long. It's like, this isn't even a joke. Why is there a wacky sound effect? I think
right.
this is the first in a half subtle...
Well, it is kind of a joke. They're just saying that, you know, oh, she, instead of having a real Water Tribe name, all she has is Gran. Funny!
series of jokes where Sokka just gets a beating wherever he goes. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, of course that happens. There's a lot more than you think there is. Ever notice how, despite days passing, it's never pitch black like it would be at night? The closest it gets to that is when Zuko's out looking over the bridge of his ship. That's actually not a continuity error, because they're in the Antarctic, and something science, the sun doesn't set up there
It
in
doesn't.
certain months.
It
Or maybe-
sets for, I believe it sets for like 3 months, and that's it.
Maybe ever, I don't know, I'm not some science guy. I just like Avatar, and that's some good attention to detail.
It is.
No, power in firebending comes from the breath, not the muscles. The breath becomes energy in the body. The energy extends past your limbs and becomes hot. Get it right this time.
Iroh's firebending explanation is really cool, in the sense that you don't know. Is this actual technical advice? Is this some spiritual side of the art we don't know about? It's hard to say at this point, and that's
it's
interesting.
spiritual.
Right now, this isn't out of character for Iroh. Giving his nephew and pupil a stern look seems appropriate for a by-the-books mentor who hammers on the basics. But with knowledge of the rest of the series, would Iroh ever really give Zuko this look? Iroh only really ever lays into Zuko once, and Zuko's definitely said meaner stuff to him by this point.
What else would I expect to hear from the laziest man in the Fire Nation?
But first, I must finish my roast duck.
Why is Zuko grossed out by roast duck? I'll take some roast duck. Alright, back on the topic of Sokka and his view of
He's grossed out because he has to watch his uncle eat it. Come on!
himself as an idealized man and his role in his society. He's over here talking to actual children instead of his sister that has magical powers. Now that would seem dumb when you're looking at it at face value, but when you take into account some of the last words his dad said to him,
Being a man is knowing where you're needed the most. And for you right now, that's here protecting your sister.
It starts to make a little more sense. Hey, why does that penguin have 4 arms? And come to think of it, why did those seals from earlier look so weird? I wonder what the rest of the animals in this world look like. Why, they could be anything. That's what your brain was thinking when it saw the animals. That's what it was thinking. This haha yeah from Aang is the same voice clip from the opening.
It is.
He has a lot to learn before he's ready to save anyone.
I'm like 99% sure it shows up in other episodes too.
It does.
I'll keep an ear out for it.
I haven't done this since I was a kid. You still are a kid.
You can read pretty deep into that line. What is this weird warp drive sound effect when Aang boosts himself?
Whoa.
Look at this shot. What does this tell you? A giant symbol of the Fire Nation looming over our 2 protagonists that are tiny in comparison. It casts a shadow towards them that nearly engulfs them. This is visual storytelling. This is incredible.
It
Time
is.
for me to blow your mind at the back of your skull. This shot that I'm praising right now, you've already seen it. This is the same shot as when Katara and Sokka found Aang in the iceberg. So, what do these 2 parallel shots say? In both shots, our main characters are shown to be tiny in frame. They stare up at something that's simply beyond them in scale. Like I mentioned, the Fire Nation ship casts a shadow towards them, while Aang's iceberg actually engulfs them in light. Pretty cool, right?
Ow! Oh my
Notice
goodness.
the echo on their footsteps as they walk around the ship? That's that Avatar polish.
This ship has haunted my tribe since Gran was a little girl. It was part of the Fire Nation's first attacks.
Yeah, that checks out.
It
We
does.
were in there that whole time. It's the only explanation.
100 years. I can't believe it.
This is the reaction of a kid who just lost everyone he knows and loves. It's a little underwhelming, but I really think it would have killed the pace if Aang had a crying meltdown 3 minutes before the episode ended. So, probably a good call. Alright, Avatar, you're not getting away with this one. Would there really be a tripwire here after tens of years? What was the Fire Nation thinking once their ship got messed up? Oh, I better set up a tripwire that's connected to a flare before we leave. He dusts his hands off happily when he's done, only for the captain to yell at him to also connect the contraption to the medieval gate door.
Wake my uncle! Tell him I found the Avatar, as well as his hiding place.
And we end on a good cliffhanger. The first 2 episodes premiered together, so I don't think you really need to end on this note, but as a viewer years later and from a critical standpoint, it works.
Yeah. He goes, I don't know who's going to watch it. A lot of people will watch it. But yeah, that was actually very good. I loved it. He's very concise on his observations, and he notices a couple of things that I don't even notice. Like, man, a lot of that is crazy, and it really opens your mind to the perspective of how good the show was and why the show was so damn good. It not only did it have good storytelling, but it had great attention to detail, and it really immersed you into the world, into the story of and to the lives of these characters. And that's why it's one of my favorite shows of all time. It's basically my favorite TV show of all time. It really, really is. So, that's it for now. I'm going to cover the next episode next week. And please like and subscribe if you want to see more sexy and nerdy content. And I'll see you all in the next video.